Everything seemed perfectly set for a massive season, but a sudden shadow has been cast over the Saints' offensive plans. We are talking about a top-tier playmaker whose health situation has just taken a turn that every fan needs to hear about right now. While we were all expecting to see him dominating the field during off-season workouts, the latest update confirms he is still stuck in recovery mode, leaving everyone wondering exactly when he will be back to full strength. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. Are you worried about this star's availability? Let's dive in. The focus for the Saints this offseason centers entirely on the health status of star wide receiver Chris Olave, as he works his way back from a late-season medical emergency. After completing his 4th year in the NFL with a career-best performance, Olave is currently the subject of an ongoing recovery process that has kept him off the practice field. The standout wideout, who has become a critical piece of the team's offensive unit, was sidelined for the team's final game of the 2026 season due to a diagnosed blood clot. While fans are naturally eager to see the former Ohio State star back in action at full strength, the latest reports confirm that his path to returning to the gridiron is still a work in progress. Head coach Kellen Moore has officially confirmed that Olave is currently in recovery mode, meaning he has not participated in any team drills throughout the early stages of this offseason. This situation places a significant question mark over the wide receiver's immediate availability as the team looks to map out its offensive preparations for the coming months. As one of the primary targets for the quarterback, his absence from voluntary workouts and organized team activities highlights the cautious approach the organization is taking with his health. The transition from a highly productive campaign to this recovery period is the defining storyline for the wide receiver right now. Everyone throughout the league is watching to see how the recovery progresses, because his impact on the field has been undeniable since he entered the NFL 4 years ago. For now, the priority remains his full recovery, ensuring that he reaches the necessary health benchmarks before resuming any competitive football activity with his teammates. To understand why this news carries such weight for the Saints, one must look at the specific production Chris Olave provided during the 2026 season. Finishing with 1,163 receiving yards and 9 receiving touchdowns, Olave set new career highs in both major statistical categories. These figures illustrate exactly why his current recovery status is a central talking point for the organization's offensive planning. Having played in 16 games, he proved to be a reliable and dynamic option for the passing attack, cementing his status as a focal point of the team's aerial strategy. The fact that he was able to maintain this level of performance while logging 1,000-yard seasons in 3 of his first 4 years in the league underlines his consistency. Because he is entering the 5th and final season of his current contract, this year is particularly significant for his career trajectory and the team's long-term roster stability. The absence of such a high-caliber player from spring drills naturally forces the coaching staff to adjust their personnel groupings and passing game development. Without Olave on the field, the team is forced to rely on other depth chart options during these initial sessions, which changes the dynamic of how the offense operates in early installations. His presence as a route runner and deep threat is not easily replicated by others, which is why the coaching staff is monitoring his status with such precise attention. While the team is hopeful for a return to full health, the current reality is that he remains sidelined, leaving a void that the other receivers are currently tasked with filling during this phase of the offseason. The medical staff is leading the process to ensure he is ready. The recovery timeline for Chris Olave involves a cautious and methodical approach necessitated by his health scare involving a blood clot. Kellen Moore, in his role as head coach, has been transparent about the fact that the receiver is not yet ready for the physical demands of team drills. This transparency helps clarify expectations for the fan base and the media regarding his status. The Saints are moving carefully, ensuring that every medical precaution is taken before allowing him to resume the high-intensity movements required of an NFL wide receiver. While fans might be anxious to see their favorite playmaker back in the huddle, the organization is focused on the long-term health of the player rather than rushing him back for non-critical off-season activities. This approach is standard for medical situations of this nature, prioritizing a complete and safe return to action. By holding him out of team drills, the staff avoids any unnecessary strain on a player who has shown the ability to carry the offense for extended stretches of a season. The focus for Olave remains on rehabilitation and meeting the medical criteria required to clear him for a return to full-contact football. As the season approaches, the hope is that he can transition from this recovery phase back into his role as a primary target. For the Who Dat faithful, waiting for his return is the primary challenge, as the team prepares to integrate him back into the lineup once he is medically cleared to participate. The technical requirements of his recovery are being handled by professionals who prioritize his well-being above all else, ensuring that when he does step onto the turf again, he will be in the best possible condition for the upcoming year. Why does this matter right now for the team? The impact of Chris Olave being sidelined extends deep into the team's offensive efficiency and their ability to establish a rhythm during these crucial summer months. As a top-tier wide receiver, he provides the necessary spacing and vertical threat that makes the rest of the passing game effective. His ability to hit the 1,000-yard mark consistently in 3 out of his 4 seasons is a rare level of output that the team has relied upon heavily. Without him participating in drills, the quarterback and the rest of the receiving corps miss out on vital chemistry-building opportunities. Every rep that a receiver takes with the starting quarterback is essential for timing and precision. By missing these sessions, the recovery of Olave forces the team to shift focus toward evaluating other options, which can alter the overall evaluation process for the wider roster. Furthermore, with this being the final season of his contract, the organization needs to see him perform at his usual high standard to evaluate future roster construction. While the health issue is a medical matter, the ripple effect on the field is that it limits the team's ability to fully test their offensive ceiling during the offseason. The depth of the position is being tested in real time as younger or backup players take his reps, providing a clearer look at the versatility of the squad. The team's offensive identity for the 2026 season relies on the explosive potential of Olave, and his absence serves as a reminder of how fragile a game plan can be when a key playmaker is dealing with health-related setbacks. The staff is managing the reality of the situation, keeping their goals aligned with his health. Looking ahead to the upcoming season, the trajectory for Chris Olave depends entirely on his ability to complete his recovery and return to his peak form. The Saints have clearly defined his current status as someone working toward a return, which means the upcoming weeks will be crucial in determining his participation level for training camp. As he finishes his 4th year and enters the final year of his deal, the stakes for his return are high. The team has shown faith in his abilities by making him the cornerstone of the passing game, and they are now showing patience through his recovery. The entire organization, from the coaching staff to the medical team, is invested in the goal of getting him back on the field. While the news of his continued recovery might delay his on-field impact, it is the necessary path for the team to ensure he is ready for the rigors of a full 17-game schedule. If he can overcome this hurdle, he remains one of the most productive threats in the league, capable of replicating or exceeding the 1,163 yards he secured last year. His journey back from this medical setback will continue to be closely tracked by those who understand the importance of his role. The team remains committed to the established protocols to facilitate his return, focusing on his long-term availability rather than short-term gains. When the time comes for him to rejoin his teammates, the expectation will be for him to resume his role as a central offensive leader. For now, the focus remains singular: health, recovery, and preparation for the final season of his contract. The Who Dat Nation will be eagerly awaiting the moment he is cleared to step back into his starting position.